Hey guys, it's me, Pokemon. I'm going to bring you a really fun video today. So we all know on the home screen we have that thing that says Alliance War, and it said coming soon for quite a while. And today I want to talk about what we've kind of had data mined for Alliance Wars in the past, and what I'm expecting to see from Alliance Wars. We have no release date. We have absolutely no clue when it's coming. Could be tomorrow, could be next week, could be the next update, could be a couple years from now, could never come. Who knows? But I'm going to talk about kind of what I'm expecting to see come from it and what we already know has been data mined. But some of the stuff that's been data mined I'm going to talk about a bit because some of it's a little interesting, so I wouldn't get too stuck on what we had data mined because some of it's a little crazy and I don't know if it's necessarily going to stick around for the full launch. So alright, in Marvel Strike Force, you know, you guys all recognize this. This is a raid map. Your alliance hops in, you guys all go down a lane. Clear off the stages. Every stage has a set of enemies. Move to the next node, clear all the enemies. You can go down different paths, all kinds of stuff. So keep an eye on this right now. The way Alliance Wars work in Contest of Champions is it's really similar to Alliance Raids, except the nodes that you're going to have been set up by the enemy alliance. So here's kind of how it's set up. So we have two alliances, Alliance 1 and Alliance 2. Alliance 1 has their own map, and I believe they can pick 5 spots to set a character on. And then you guys, and then your alliance has this big map, and then everybody in your alliance can pick 5 spots to set a character on. And so essentially how this could transfer into a Marvel Strike Force to say, you know, an Alliance War. So we have 2 alliances. Each alliance gets 1 map, and they're allowed to put 5 teams of characters across the map wherever they feel like it amongst the alliance, so they can get, there's 8 paths, so let's make sure everybody puts 1 team on each path, or something like that. So this encourages you to dig deep in your roster. Really great for a game like this. Always great when they make you dig into your roster. Now, one of the more interesting parts about Alliance Wars is so after you set up your map for defense and after the enemy alliance sets up their map for defense, then you switch sides and you siege the enemy's map and you go through all their teams set up across their map, and then they're going to go through your map and try to get as far as they can, and whatever team clears the most of the enemy's map wins. And this also encourages more team death, because when you're sieging the enemy map, I'm gonna guess that this would be set up like a traditional alliance raid where you can use all your characters. It's just held back by energy. But the interesting thing here would be is that you can't use any of the characters you set up for defense. So this is encouraging even more of a deep roster. To be competitive in Alliance Wars, you'd need over 25 characters that are strong. You'd want to set up, 5 sets of strong characters on defense. Now, of course, these numbers could change. They could say, hey, everybody on the lines can only put down 3 teams, and then you can, they can change things here and there, but it'd be really interesting. I think it's a really fun mode in Contest of Champions, at least from what I can see. I don't really play Contest of Champions, but I really like the concept of it. My friend who plays Contest of Champions a lot, I've seen him play Alliance Wars, and it definitely looks like a relatively fun mode to play. Allows for a lot of characters to shine, and I just very excited for how that would work. So now you guys got a general idea of what I'm kind of expecting with Alliance Wars, sort of like an attack and defense thing. They could also go for a sort of more Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes style. I don't know much about their alliance raids in that game, but I believe there's like, there's sort of 12 territories. On each territory, your team can set up like 8 defending teams, and then you sort of attack the teams on the defending territories. If you defeat all the teams on the defending territory, then you capture their territory, and then you can set teams up on there, sort of like Future Fight. But I don't know. I could see that working, and it's not necessarily that it couldn't be that, but I just feel like, I believe Fox Next kind of comes from Kabam. They definitely share a lot of aspects of Contest of Champions in this game. Like, I think the art style is relatively similar, and it's just because we already have this kind of style of things set up with alliance raids and traveling through nodes, I could just see them sort of repurposing it to then become Alliance War. It just kind of makes the most sense to me, and this is what I'm expecting to have happen. Now, I don't believe anything's been data mined in relation to the gameplay of Alliance Wars, but what we have had data mined is actually a really interesting thing for the Alliance. Now, what's interesting in this data mine is essentially, that little helicarrier that's floating around whenever you hop onto your Alliance page? First of all, I think they're missing out on some sweet money there. Say if you want a resource dump in the game, you could buy skins for your helicarrier, and you'd be like, it requires like 30 million gold, and then everybody in the Alliance could contribute gold to buy that skin. Just saying, major resource dump right there if you guys are looking for that at Fox Next, but not a priority right now. Anywho, so what is going to be, what was data mined at one point is essentially they do have an energy system like raids, alliance. And then each alliance has their own helicarrier, and they can customize it and build rooms inside of it. And so when you're fighting in alliance wars, you're actually raiding the enemy team's helicarrier, and you're trying to destroy their rooms or something like that. So, you know, as you destroy their rooms, they lose the bonuses that those rooms grant. And I'm going to go into those rooms a little bit more here. Will this stay? I don't know. It sounds a little crazy. Not in a bad crazy. I think it's really interesting. But I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they use the Alliance War style I talked about earlier, and then you can build up your helicarrier to gain bonuses in the Alliance War. So let's talk. You'll get a better idea as I talk about this. But this is he data mined that there are a bunch of different rooms here, and you know, he kind of pulled together a little bit about what this does for your alliance here. So first off, we have the med bay. And this generates health packs for raid/alliance wars. So it'll increase health generation by 10%. And then in echo mode, I think is like the passive bonus. So every 20 seconds, you'll collect 5 health packs, 80% chance in war, 20% chance raid. We don't really know what those mean because, again, this is really rough data mining. This was super early in the game. This was posted 6 months ago. So, again, this stuff is really, like, we have no clue if they think I might have scrapped all this. And then in war mode, plus 1% health regen. So, I'm not going to exactly go through every single one of these, but we have, like, a weapon system, so it increases the damage from defenders. We have the bridge, and that connects rooms or something like that. The hangar, destruction, disables enemies' attack for 1 minute. The reactor, every 20 seconds, it'll collect 5 energy refills. We have the cargo, which increases the war loot. All kinds of things here. So I don't really know about what we have data mine here, but we do know that at one point or another, they have considered the idea of alliances working together to sort of modify their helicarrier, and we know they're still keeping some aspect of them because they do have that helicarrier floating around there. That's probably why it takes so long to load into that screen. So I still hope they keep some aspect of this. Again, it's another great way to have a resource dump, you know, say contribute, there needs, like, hey, we're going to upgrade our cargo hold. That's going to cost 5 million gold. That can come from a combination of any number of members in the alliance. So again, excellent resource dump right there. I think a lot of games really need to look for it. You know, for the later players who kind of have, like, everybody max rank, like, what do I do with all this gold? Instead of them sitting on it for when the next character comes around and instantly getting them up to max rank, you can kind of introduce these sort of resource dumps. Another great thing about skins. But we're going to talk about maybe skins for characters a little later, because we have actually had those confirmed. So they could kind of keep the old style of Alliance Wars, the really rough version where you're sort of sieging the enemy's helicarrier. Maybe they could go with the Alliance War style I was talking about, where you sort of gain passive bonuses from your helicarrier. Maybe the helicarrier will have nothing to do with Alliance Wars, and it'll just give you passive bonuses throughout the game. I don't know. I'm just very excited for the aspect of working on a helicarrier with your alliance. Lot of potential there, so I don't know, guys. What do you think about Alliance Wars? What do you think about the helicarrier? What do you think of sort of my concept for how it'd work? And at the end of the day, guys, what do I know? I am just a 16-year-old. Signing off, guys.